There comes a time in everyone's life when they have to figure out if they're okay on their own. And for me, this was about 20 years ago. I'd just returned from a trip to Thailand with my then girlfriend, my now wife, Sarah. And I get anxious when I travel and when I'm alone. And she was with me on this Thailand trip, and so I was okay most of the time. But I needed to prove that I could do it on my own. But I was scared. I was scared shitless. So there is an organization called the National Outdoor Leadership School, otherwise known as NOLS. And I thought that I could be a NOLS instructor. And what you need to do to be a NOLS instructor is go to a NOLS instructor's training course, which I signed up for. And it was 30 days where we would go all the way to the north tip of Vancouver Island, and then we'd take a ferry to Alaska, and then we would paddle our kayaks back to Vancouver Island. 30 days, no contact, not my bag. So I received an email from the National Outdoor Leadership School, a guy named John, who was renowned for being the best instructor of instructors. He was a NOLS god. And the email said, you are going to learn how to be a leader. You are going to learn how to be a teammate. Also, make sure that you bring something to maintain cleanliness of your nether regions. You'll be spending 30 days paddling, and we don't want to risk any type of infection. So I decided that day that I was going to be a leader, I was going to be a teammate, and I was going to have the cleanest ass on that trip. So I got myself a handkerchief that I nicknamed Stanky the Hanky. So we took the ferry up to Alaska and we started paddling back, and I got my routine going every evening after we finished our chores, where I'd go down to a private part of the beach and I would polish. Then I would leave Stanky on the beach to dry. And then I'd retrieve the handkerchief the next morning. The cool thing was you could put it on a little crook of an umbrella that I brought along at the end of my kayak, and it worked like a weather vane. You could tell what the weather was doing. And 15 days into the trip, it was my turn to be a leader, and I was terrified because we were making a big open ocean crossing, and I was in charge. And Stanky was saying that the wind was picking up. So I told John, the renowned leader, that I was anxious about this crossing, and he said, well, what do you think we should do? This is my time to shine. I said, I think we should go for it. And he said, I don't think we should. I was scared. I was scared shitless, and I'm glad we didn't, because when we got back to the beach, instead of crossing, the wind did pick up, and there were huge white caps, and I could think of the headlines of 11 kayakers found dead because of poor decision-making, one of them with an incredibly clean ass. There was some redemption in that. So on day 29, we ended up at a small island just across from the tip of Vancouver Island. We could see the vans that we would be getting in to go home, and we had made it. I'd become certified to be a NOLS instructor. I've taught myself that despite being scared shitless, I could make it on a long journey without anybody other than my compadres. And we were going to have a party. It's NOLS tradition. The last day, you have a big party, and you use what you can find. And the theme of the party was pirates. So we built out of driftwood this large pirate ship, and we told stories, we did dances, we actually put together a play, and then at the end of this evening, John had us all sit down, and he was going to give us a final farewell. And he stood there, and he reached down, and he grabbed a handkerchief that he found on the beach. And he became the pirate. And I didn't say anything. Thank you.